Okay, we're live.
Yay!
We are back.
Hi.
Hi, good to
Nice.
see you. Good to see everybody out there.
Hi,
Once
everyone.
we build up the audience, and remember, always put your questions if you have any during the podcast in the comment section, and we'll see them and we'll address them
I
as we
think
get
it's
them.
I think it's pretty cool. People are finding out about the podcast. They're
Yeah,
telling me they're sharing it with other people.
I like that.
Thank you all for doing that.
Yeah, keep doing that,
Yeah,
people.
very cool.
Keep sharing. Let's see.
It's
I'm
growing.
looking.
It's
It is,
yeah,
but it takes time, and
yeah,
the more people share it, the better we're all going to be.
right.
So hopefully, yeah, I don't see a picture. We'll have to look for that later. So give us a minute here, and then we'll start episode 5.
Right
This is
on.
number 5. Yeah,
I
there you
love
go.
that.
And I'm excited about this week's topic. All right, you ready?
Ready.
Welcome once again to the live video. So it's Facebook Live, and then I turn it into a podcast so people then can download it. And if you missed it, you can listen back and you have it with you. It's Good Health by Claudia. And very exciting today. I'm Denny Schaefer. This, of course, is the one and the only, the queen of health food in Toledo, Claudia. And it's episode 5, like I said. And this week, we are talking about eating to your blood type.
Eating according to the blood type.
Now, I'm very excited about that because you gave me that tip. I don't know. I think it might have been episode 1. You asked me what my blood type was, and I didn't know. But then I opened up my blood donor app because I give blood.
Yep.
And it says right there,
Right.
A positive. And then you gave me some practical, easy advice
Right.
that according to my blood type, I shouldn't eat red meat. I should stick with chicken, fish, and turkey.
Right. Exactly.
I've been doing that. I've cut back. I usually eat red meat a couple times a week. Well, no, probably 3-4 times a week.
Yeah.
And I love bacon. I'm never giving it up. I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. It's a deal breaker for me. But I've cut that out, and I've cut out all my sugary sweets and treats. No cookie. I made it to Halloween without a single.
I am very proud of you.
And
this is a big deal.
I went to a trunk or treat, and everybody was eating candy, and I'm like, nope, not me. I am going to believe in what you've been telling me and teaching me.
Thank you.
So and then we had Halloween, of course, and we had all the trick or treaters. We did not hand out candy.
Good for
we
you.
handed out microwave popcorn, and we handed out little snack bags of like chips and stuff. We did that.
Yeah.
Nobody complained. Matter of fact, a lot of kids loved it.
Yeah.
And so no red meat, no sugar. Well, some red meat, not much. And no ice cream, none of all that other stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you, I feel better, and not even really trying, I've lost 5 pounds.
There you go.
Bam. It's real, people. It is real what's going on. The advice, the expertise that Claudia is giving us and giving you, it works. And I'm living proof of that. So this week.
And I just want to say, I
Yes.
respect and appreciate that you are embracing what we're talking about and that you're taking it in and utilizing it in your life, because people can talk about doing something all day long, but they don't actually dedicate to it. You're dedicating to it. So you're seeing the end result.
The thing
It's
is
a beautiful
I'm
thing.
feeling better. That's the part that has me, I'm all in because I feel better. I'm sleeping better. My mental health is better.
Yes.
And if it's because I'm putting, well, poison might be drastic, but if I'm putting stuff in my body that my body's like, whoa,
right,
then, I'm feeling better and I'm sleeping better. So that's what we want.
And that's what it's all about, right?
Yes.
It's all about feeling better. I mean,
we all know I look good.
You look terrific.
I'm a clown. All right. Claudia brought a book. Here it is. I'm showing everybody on Facebook Live. Remember, if you have any questions, put them up there. She'll answer them. It is called 4 Blood Types, 4 Diets, Eat Right for Your Type. And it's written by Dr. Peter J. Diadamo, along with somebody else.
So this book, I'll tell you a quick story about how, because I've always said our greatest teachers are the people we work with. I mean, that to really truly learn you got to witness what people are doing in real life. So long story short, when I first learned about this, I had actually talked to Dr. Diadamo. I had mentioned that in another podcast. Joe Bassett had his longtime radio show, and many of you in the community still talk about his wonderful radio show where he was interviewing a lot of people like we're doing, like we're going to be doing. Anyway, he had to go out of town. He couldn't get a hold of Dr. Diadamo. He had to reschedule the appointment. He asked me to call him. So that's how I was very fortunate back in 1996 or 7, because this book came out in 96, I believe. But I talked to him soon after the book came out. And in just a short conversation with him, 15, 20 minutes, that he was telling me it's about what according to the hydrochloric acid, how the stomach pumps out hydrochloric acid and lectins, which we'll talk about. That's how we have fine-tuned it through research, what foods are beneficial for a certain blood type and what foods challenge the system for a certain blood type. And that made perfect sense to me, because being in this industry all these years, it's never made sense to me, all these people that are saying everyone should eat the same way. I mean, it just doesn't even make sense. So, you have people saying everyone needs meat. That's not necessarily true. Then you have the people saying everyone should be vegan or plant-based. Well, that's not necessarily true either, even though it's fair to say everybody needs to eat more veggies. I mean, I think we can all agree about that. But at any rate, so when I had that short conversation with him, after all the years that I have been trying to find in my own heart, how do we help guide so many different types of people in a successful way for them? This was the answer. And it brought a lot of things that I had learned before. It brought it all together for me. So I've been working with this since I spoke with him, but the real experience came with my own mother-in-law, who's no longer with us, wonderful woman, just anyway, she was she was sickly for many years. And by the time she asked me for help, she was on like 14, 15 meds. And she was doing everything she was told to do, and her health was declining over the years. So finally, when she asked me, is there anything you can help me with? She was on so many meds that I said, okay, let's try this. Where are we going? Let's do this. And it was interesting because she was a B blood type. And of course, everyone's being told, don't eat lamb, it increases your LDLs, and don't eat this and don't eat that, even though they never talk about sugar, but that's a whole nother conversation, but in regard to LDLs. But at any rate, she was eating mainly chicken. Well, her LDLs were the highest I've ever seen to this day, her total cholesterol. And I have a different opinion about the way cholesterol issues are being addressed in this country. I think a lot of people that are on the natural side of things do. But nonetheless, her numbers were extremely high. I mean, anybody that would have seen them, her total cholesterol was 423 or something. I mean, it was unbelievable. I've never seen anything like that. So when she started eating according to her blood type, as a B blood type, lamb is beneficial, chicken is on their no list. So I said to her, okay, let's try this. Follow this book. Eat according to your blood type. Eat according to the beneficial list, which is what we tell everybody. Pull from the neutral, avoid the avoid. So she did. And because at that point, she was kind of desperate with her health. She was on all these meds and it was going the wrong way. Lo and behold, 12 weeks later, when the doctor ran her blood work, her LDLs had come down almost 200 points.
Wow.
And if she was still living, because she kept track of everything. She had files. If she was still here today, I would be able to show you the proof of her blood work. But she's been gone 10 years or whatever it's been, God bless her. Anyway, but the point is, it was there and the doctor saw it. And she said to me, she called me after the appointment. She said, the doctor has never seen anything like this. He doesn't understand how it happened, why it happened. Well, that right there to me proved the power of this protocol. And since then, we've guided hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people to eat according to their blood type.
So how long did it take her for those numbers to come down?
12 weeks.
12 weeks.
12 weeks.
Cutting out the chicken that's bad for her because of her blood type.
Because she couldn't digest it. So it was becoming an inflammatory issue. So the whole point is we see this over and over. And I tell everybody, nothing is set in stone. Nothing is absolutely, there's no nothing is perfect and nothing is guaranteed. All we can do is do our best, be mindful every day.
Mhm.
And the people that are willing to do this protocol, and I tell them, if you're willing, just do it for 1 month. Just do it for 1 month. And in that 1 month, if somebody is willing to follow this, they will always come back and say, oh my goodness, this pain is gone and that pain is gone, and their cholesterol levels are balancing and their triglycerides are coming down. I mean, it's quite amazing, to the point where now, and you hear me say, I'm grateful we have a lot of docs that refer to us, but now there are actually a couple docs in our community sending people in and saying, go talk to Claudia, do the blood typing protocol. Let's see how it works. So it's an amazing thing. I think it's worth people looking at, because here's the thing. This research was taken from, when we look at the blood types in human evolution, what was going on during that period of time? What were people eating at that period of time according to where that blood type came from? So simply put, when you look at blood types, I'm an O, we're the hunter-gatherers, and most O's not only feel better when they're eating red meat, but we've seen over the years many O's require it. And of course, always, 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 we were talking about clean, animals raised properly,
Right.
ethically, with farms that are treating them properly and feeding them properly, not injecting them and not all this stuff. So we're not talking about mega farm
No.
meat. We're talking about true, clean meat. So O's, we've seen it time and time again. Some of the most compromised people we've ever seen are vegan, O blood types that have been vegan for many years. Typically they can't repair properly, whether they get, they cut themselves, their skin doesn't repair. I actually years ago had a doc send me somebody that his teeth were loose in his mouth.
Wow.
And he had a broken bone, and it's like 6-7 years later, the bone wasn't healing properly. So the first thing I asked this guy, are you an O blood type? He's like, well, how do you know that? Well, he had been vegan and wise, he had done it properly for many years. But all these things that we see the evidence of how wonderful and beneficial this protocol is proving to be for a lot of people. So O is the original blood type. O's generally love meat. They need meat. If they go along without it, most crave it. Then it came into the A blood type, which is during agriculture. A's, which is whatever, 7,000-8,000 years ago, 10,000, some anthropologists say about 10,000 years, whatever it is. When we go back, A's are considered the natural vegetarian. The difference between an O blood type and an A blood type, and Dr. Diadamo talks about this right off the bat, is that hydrochloric acid, which is a very critically important digestive enzyme in the stomach, right?
Right.
O's generally produce higher levels of hydrochloric acid, which makes sense. Hunter-gatherers, they were chasing they were making a kill.
Right.
And they were foraging. They weren't sitting around. They weren't eating bread, and they weren't baking potatoes, and they weren't eating corn. They were hunting. So the gut strength of an O generally is we produce hydrochloric acid levels. We can break those bonds apart in that specifically red meat. But in A, generally they produce lower levels of hydrochloric acid, which is why their stomach is challenged in breaking down that type of meat. Red meat is the hardest to break down. That's why they generally do better with chicken, turkey, fish. Then you have B's, that's considered the nomadic blood type. B's generally they have a very broad spectrum of dairy. Of course, I encourage people, if you're going to do dairy, only do organic, make sure it's clean. But B's generally can get away with more dairy than the other blood types. They don't do well with chicken. It's on their no list. And then it came into the modern blood type, which is AB. That's where it all came together. So they're all very interesting blood types. We keep it simple in our education. Dr. Diadamo, I'm hoping that he'll come on as a guest, and we can interview him. He can really get into the depth of the genetics makeup of all these things, but we keep it simple. And it's enough that people get it.
So people, if they knew what their blood type was and they ate according to their blood type, they're automatically going to probably feel better and break down food better. and essentially, I mean, they're just going to be healthier, right?
Well, but so it goes back to, and in my digestive class, we do a lot of classes at the store. They're all 2 hours long. So this is a short version. But I always remind people, the garbage disposal, the stomach, I call it the garbage disposal because that's all it's supposed to do is grind things up.
Okay.
Okay. There's no digestion in the stomach. Digestion occurs in the small intestine. And if the garbage disposal couldn't break the food down properly, now you have undigested protein molecules going into the small intestine. This is not good because this is where inflammatory conditions are being triggered. So if the stomach isn't happy, the small intestine isn't happy, which means the large intestine is not, the bowel is not happy. So it all is one connected, it's all connected.
Sure.
So stomach health is really where it all begins. And we've seen it in thousands of people over the years. When you help the stomach be happy, then everything else works properly. So undigested protein, these are causing inflammatory responses in the body. And of course, what do we know about dis-ease? Dis-ease is inflammatory issues, right? People wake up, they're achy, they're headachy, their sinuses are running, they might have a chronic sore throat, they have bloat, they have gas, they have bowel distress, skin eruptions, all this stuff. That's some form of inflammation. So what this protocol has proven to show us in so many people across the board, when you reduce the inflammatory triggers and you put the food that particular blood type stomach was designed to digest, now it changes the whole profile, which is what you're experiencing. So most A's, and we have A's that love red meat, but typically they'll feel better when they get rid of it.
See, I do love red meat, but I feel better because I haven't been eating it.
And there you go, because now you're
so now I don't want to, like last night we went out to eat and I had perch. Perfect. Because I know fish is good for me.
Exactly.
Even though I wanted a double bacon cheeseburger, I said no. And now, okay, so then you brought this other book.
So can we see this? Which way am I going here? I can't see
There's
it.
the camera
Thank you.
there. Blood type A, food, beverage, and supplement list. So each different blood type, you have one of these books.
So this is for A that I brought you.
Thank you.
Now you can use it as a reference, and people literally carry it all day long until they learn what's right for them and what isn't. So what we teach people is you start by avoiding the avoid list. And of course, many things that people love are on the avoid list.
So do I have to read this book before I read this book that I carry with me?
So
what do I do, Claudia?
The big book, this one, which is what we sell a lot of, it's all 4 blood types, and it's the research in the beginning of the book, which for me, I think the research is amazing. I think it's important. And I study it a lot. That's why hopefully if we can get Dr. Diadamo with us, he can really get into the science of this.
Right.
We keep it simple because simple is what people need. And I just want to say, we hear this all the time. There's so much information on the internet that most people don't have a basic understanding of health or good health or natural ways of approaching it. So they can't discern what information is beneficial and what isn't. They're overloaded with so much information.
Yeah.
And there's so many. I said it last time we talked. If you ask 50 different people what's the right way to eat, you're going to get 50 different answers. For me, it's always been an issue of I need to know what makes sense to me, because if I don't believe something, we certainly don't pass it on at the store.
No.
What we teach is from our heart and experience. So when this made sense to me, because as I said, I've always had an issue with one size does not, you can't tell millions of people coming from different backgrounds and all these things that one way of eating is beneficial for everybody. It just doesn't work. And a lot of people are recognizing that.
All right. So most people don't want to make changes in their diet because, well, they like what they eat when they want to eat.
Right.
Is it simple? Is it hard? Is it detailed? We live in the internet world of, hey, I click on it and I get, what I'm looking for.
Right.
Is it easy to follow, or is it, challenging and frustrating? Because people get frustrated, then they'll give up.
Right. So the way it's laid out, and it's not about depriving somebody of something. other than whatever, whatever, sugar.
I don't,
whatever.
honestly,
No.
I'm surprised that I am not missing the cookies and ice cream. Now, once a week, Sundays, is the only time I'll allow myself a treat. That's it, one day a week. When it was 7 days a week.
Exactly. So you're moving in the right direction. And, we all want to enjoy. I mean, life is hectic and there's a lot going on and people feel stressed and a lot of people eat out of emotional issues and there's all these things. So it's not about never doing something that you enjoy.
Right.
It's about becoming mindful of what you're doing on a daily basis. And then once in a while, you want to throw in a treat, you throw in a treat. But the next step that we teach people, okay, so you've cut down your cookies to one day a week, which I applaud you. That's a big deal. Then the next step is teaching people, okay, now eat a cookie that's made with clean ingredients.
Right. Eat the right
So
sweets.
we've learned to help people, to guide people in steps because nobody changes overnight. I told you when I was in my 20s, I would say to people, listen, this is what you need to do and just do it.
Right.
But
Nobody wants to do that.
Exactly. Because human beings do not change quickly.
No.
They change
Baby
slowly.
steps. Baby
Exactly.
steps. That's
so
what I'm
that's
doing.
what we've learned. Baby steps, just be as mindful as you can be every day. And when you follow according to your blood type, Dr. Diadamo lays it out very clearly for each blood type. He says, here's a category of food, whatever it is, meat and poultry, seafood, dairy and eggs, veggies, fruits. He lays it out in categories. And then for each blood type, he's saying, okay, if you're whatever blood type you are, here's your beneficial meat and poultry. Here's your beneficial seafood. Here's your beneficial veggies. But there's also then the neutral list and the avoid list. So every food group has beneficial, neutral, avoid. And that's where we start. Avoid the avoid list.
So that's in the big book and the little
and
book.
the little book. So
right.
It's easy. There's a lot of food to pick from. People, no one goes hungry. They don't feel deprived. They're just like you're saying, you really didn't miss the cookies all week.
Nope.
So it's changing the microbiome, all the things we talk about. We're starting to teach people how to feed the flora that's in their body instead of feeding the bacteria and the viruses and the parasites and the fungus. So it's a whole process that it allows to happen. And it's
oops, I already make a first mistake. Type A should start every day with a small glass of warm water into which you have squeezed the juice of 1/2 lemon. Okay. So every morning I start my day, I get up early. You know that. I'm up at 3:10. The first thing I do is I have room temperature filtered water. I chug about 20 ounces. According to this, I shouldn't do that.
Well, remember,
8 ounces. But if I squeeze in like an organic lemon juice, I'd be okay.
And remember, putting lemon in water has been in our industry. I learned it 48 years ago.
Yeah, my wife.
So it's a wonderful thing to do. It helps to support the liver to do its thing better during the day. But remember, if you're on a blood type that might not do well with lemons.
Oh no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I just saw it on beverages avoid list beer. Oh, it doesn't say margaritas though, so I got it. I found an angle, but it says black tea, which I don't drink. It doesn't say different teas, coconut milk, distilled liquor.
Wait, let's talk about that. That's interesting. So I don't know, whatever it was, 5-10 years ago, all of a sudden there was all this information on the internet about the wonderful benefits of coconut and coconut oil, which is true. There's very important fatty acids in coconut. They are antifungal, they're antiviral. These are very important nutrients that naturally occur. But it doesn't mean everybody can actually break down the coconut. So we've seen a lot of people, they've been eating coconut, they've been eating it out of the jar, they're doing all these things for the benefit, but they can't digest it. So we have products. One of the products we have sold literally for many, many years. It's one of my most favorite natural antivirals. And we've been educating on monolaurin for many, many years. And monolaurin is a natural form of some of the things that are from the coconut, but you take a capsule rather than have to digest it. So it makes a difference. Does that make sense?
Yeah, total sense.
So, it's one of the things we've seen over and over. There's so many people that when they are willing to get away from the coconut oil in itself rather than eating it, they feel better. Remember, it's all about how do we help take the stress off the stomach?
highly beneficial, and it's on here. Thank you, sweet Jesus. Something I love and I drink a lot of. Coffee. Coffee's beneficial for me.
It's interesting.
Highly beneficial.
And you should only do organic, clean.
Okay.
Like we sell a Jim's Organic. Hopefully he'll be a guest of ours. I've known Jim for many, many years. He has a great line of coffee. And he goes all over the world, and he's a wonderful guy.
He have flavored coffee? Does he have flavored
They
coffee?
have a couple, but they don't have a lot because there's not a lot of natural flavors you can do, right? In that kind of a sense. So at any rate, it's interesting because what we have found, caffeine seems to be beneficial for A blood types because it wakes up their digestive system, which tends to be a bit more sluggish than an O blood type. So O's generally do not do well with coffee, and the O's that are willing to get away with it, and everybody loves coffee. Well, maybe not everybody, but a lot of people love coffee.
I love coffee.
And the O's that get away with, get it out of their diet feel better, and the A's generally feel good with it because it's waking up a sluggish gut.
So if it's neutral, it's still okay to have?
It is, just not every day.
For like fruit, I love apples. I have a lot of apples.
Yeah.
But it says to avoid, for me on my avoid list is bananas. And I have a lot of bananas.
I love
bananas.
This is a very interesting. And
that hurts me. That hurts me deep, Claudia.
I'm telling you, my truth has come from all the thousands of people I've witnessed. And bananas are a beautiful food. There's so many beautiful foods, avocados, coconut oil, bananas. It doesn't mean that everybody can digest them successfully. That's what this is based on.
I probably have 3 bananas a week. Like today's snack at work was a banana. And I go between bananas and apples. And apples are neutral for me.
Right.
But apricot.
And then, of course, the next step then becomes now eat an apple that doesn't have pesticides on it.
Right.
Right. So we're teaching in baby steps.
Yeah.
Yep.
Plums.
And knowledge is always, knowledge is our power. Knowledge of food and our body and how we help our body to be happier and healthier. That to me is the greatest power, that we have. So
I eat a lot of grapes too, and I don't see grapes on here at all.
I forget where grapes are.
Yeah, but they're got to be here. But it's not on the avoid list.
All that makes sense?
Yes, totally makes sense.
Cool.
Just the baby steps, though. That's the thing.
The baby steps. Yeah.
Highly beneficial for me are prunes. Okay, I'll take a pass on the prunes. All right.
So it's a book worth checking out. It's a
and
protocol.
You sell it at the store.
Oh, we actively, yes, because we got.
So it's in stock right now.
Well, when I left this morning, I was at the store to grab you that. And we just brought in we just got an order of 18 books.
What do these sell for?
I think there's 3 left on the shelf.
What does it sell for? I don't see a price on this.
I forget.
I don't either. Doesn't matter. It can change your life.
It's a wonderful protocol, something that I would encourage people to check out.
All right.
And one other thing.
To get the littler book too, so you can carry it with you, so you see all the time.
Yes. And one other thing, we sell in-home blood typing kits from Dr. Diadamo's lab. They're true blood typing kits.
So you got to prick yourself, draw a little blood.
Everything is in there. The directions, what you need. We've sold hundreds of these kits, so we know that they're very accurate. Once in a while, somebody will, you got to take a drop of blood to a drop of water. You mix it on. It tells you how to mix it.
Right.
Some people use too much water and they dilute the blood, so the card can't read it. But if somebody follows the directions and does it properly, in 10 minutes, you'll see you see the antigens forming.
Here's what's amazing to me through all of this. You could make like I did. I mean, it's not a really big sacrifice. It's just instead of, at the end of the day, I had a good workout. I know that, okay, I'm not going to gain weight if I have some ice cream or a couple of chocolate chip cookies after dinner. I didn't make huge sacrifices, and yet I feel so much better, and encourages me and excites me. Well, what else am I missing? What else can I do to feel better?
Exactly.
And people that are watching and or listening to the podcast, it wasn't anything drastic that I did.
Right.
It was just little things that it's helped my mood. It's helped me sleep. And like I said, I've lost 5 pounds and I haven't even been trying.
So that goes back to when we met originally.
Yeah.
Right.
Back in the day.
Talking about ADD and ADHD.
Yep.
We've seen we've worked with hundreds of children with that diagnosis. If the family is willing to change what they're feeding the child, what's going in the gut, because the gut works with the brain.
Yep.
If somebody's willing to do that, oh, we've seen amazing things over the years, just amazing, beautiful things. We've seen children reclaim their health. We've seen adults reclaim their health. It's a big deal. So food is our power, and it's important to learn which foods are beneficial for us and which may not be in our best interest. And, for years, we've been teaching people, long before Dr. Diadamo came out with this book, we were teaching people. I learned many years ago through Joe Bassett and Dr. Bernard Jensen and, Hannah Kroger and all these wonderful, brilliant people, that we were teaching people to find their food triggers. Because when docs are, they draw the blood, they're looking for allergens in the blood,
Right.
but triggers don't show in the blood. What they're doing is triggering inflammation. So food triggers create inflammatory responses. When people identify what foods are their triggers and they pull away from them, the inflammation reduces. And this book has helped, in my opinion, fine tune that whole thing with trigger foods.
I didn't even read the book. You just told me a couple things, and I'm already, the benefits. So now I have the book.
Yes.
And I'm going to read it.
Yes.
And I'm going to start eating according to it. Now, do you guys have ice cream at the store?
We do. All organic, clean.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right.
And we have non-dairy, we have coconut oil base, and we have this base and that. We've got a whole freezer section of stuff.
They got it all, people. So get the book, get the blood test that they sell, so make sure you're doing it right.
Or you can call your doc. They used to blood test everybody. I don't think they do anymore.
Or if you give blood, you know what it is already.
But yes, if you give
blood like I do, you know what it is.
But they don't blood type everybody unless they request it. So we saw a lot of these kits. So
that is awesome. Wow, this is very exciting. This might be my favorite episode.
I love
episode
that.
5. I do too.
So
go ahead.
Last thing.
Yep.
So
hey, Carrie says Claudia is a Toledo treasure.
Oh, God bless you,
I
Carrie.
agree.
Thank you.
Absolutely,
How sweet.
Carrie. She's
Thank
very
you.
sweet.
Thank you.
Anyway,
I appreciate that.
In closing, what would you like to say before I finish up?
We're very, very proud that this year we are celebrating our 32nd year in business. We're very grateful for everybody that has supported us over the years. They walk through the door, they bring their love, they have open hearts. So it's been a beautiful mix of, we have a wonderful team of people, very heartfelt, very engaged. Of course, everyone knows me. We want people that are engaged, that's why I'm grateful that you're getting into what you're doing, because I know it's in your heart. So that makes us a beautiful team that we have going here. So at any rate, 32 years in business. And every year we have had a 2-day celebration. It's always the second weekend in November. So it's coming up next weekend.
11th and 12th?
11th and 12th. And of course, we didn't do it through the last 2 years.
Or 12th and 13th, because Saturday, Sunday?
Saturday, Sunday.
12th, 13th.
Thank you. 12th, 13th. So last couple of years, we had to change it up a little. We didn't do a 2-day event, but we're back to the 2-day event. People they love it. We have reps that come in from companies all over the United States because it's such a cool event. This year, we have 12 of our wonderful companies being represented.
Wow.
So you can come in, you can talk to the reps. These guys are they're all wonderful. They know their heart is in it. So we have 12 companies represented on Saturday. I think we have 8 represented on Sunday. Lots of food samples.
Ooh, samples.
And we do a lot of giveaways. And of course, no purchase necessary.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I got to say that.
Right. So you put your name in the box, and after the event, we pull names. This year, one of our companies sent us a beautiful bike. One of the things we're raffling off is a Berkey water system, which that alone is a $500 unit.
Nice.
So, and if all the companies, they send us gift baskets. Some of these gift baskets of supplements, there's $200 worth of product in these bags. We give it all away. Our grand prize has always been a $350 gift certificate to our store.
Wow.
So it's a cool event. As I said, samples, education. We have practitioners coming in from the community. So it's a great event. I hope you join us next Saturday and Sunday. We are open from 9 a.m. to Monday through Saturday. We're open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay. Sunday?
Sunday is 11 to 5.
All right.
So
So
we hope
next
to see
week,
you.
next Friday, when we do episode number 6,
Yes.
let's get into that a little bit more
All right,
about
cool.
everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll have a guest. Maybe
I'm
not.
hoping to, from one of the companies that are going to be there. So we'll see.
All right. Before we go, very important for those of you that are watching. Thank you. Suzanne says, love going to Claudia's for all my supplements. Thank you. That's
Thank
very
you,
nice.
Suzanne. Very appreciated. Thank
It's
you.
very important that you share the live Facebook, the Facebook Live, with all your social media people. So whatever you're on, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, share this, share the links.
Yes.
And the podcast too, because I cut it up and then I put it in audio. So for some people, that's a lot easier. They can download it, listen
Right.
to it in the car when they're driving.
Right.
So it's important. It's up to all of you to get this important, vital information out that we, Claudia, she's dedicated her life to it. 32 years in business, which is awesome. And I'm just enjoying learning. And at this stage of my life, I'm thankful that I'm feeling better.
Yep.
So it's important you to, subscribe to the podcast, share the podcast on all your social media, and I'll give you the last thoughts. Claudia?
Well, as always, I always remind myself and share with everybody else coming through our doors. Keep your faith, focus on the blessings. There's a lot of loving people all around us. Find the love, share it, and share your light. We all have a beautiful light. Share it because it's all part of what it means. Holistic health is all about all of us together, what makes us human, and our heart and soul and all that light and beautiful stuff is all part of it. Peace.
What needs to be said? Nothing else. Oh, give me a piece again.
Peace.